my kids were young, they thought I could do anything, literally. I remember playing a game on them where I would pretend to make the red light we were stopped at turn green at the wave of my finger. Of course, I would look at the opposing light, at the cross street to see it turn from green to yellow, then to red. And I would count down 3, 2, 1, and we would all yell, turn, as I pointed my finger at it. And of course, the light would turn green, and they were astonished. Now, by the time they were 15, I couldn't even get away with, come here and pull my finger. I mean, they were on to me. Boy, did things change. Now, I bring up this silly thing about playing tricks on your kids because it illustrates something much deeper that every dad needs to understand. The way our kids see us matters profoundly. Their perception of you impacts everything, whether they feel loved and accepted, whether they feel safe, their level of confidence, their ability to contribute to the world. How they see dad throughout their childhood shapes who they become. Obviously, what you do impacts how they see you, your attitudes, your actions, your emotional habits, your integrity, or the lack of it. All of that matters. I think you know that, but here's what most dads don't understand. There are natural, God-given ways kids perceive their fathers at different stages. These aren't just developmental phases, they're built-in expectations about what a father should be. Perceptions they're born with that unfold over time of what a father is and what they mean to a kid. These are already there inside your child because children are made by God to have good fathers. So, to the degree you meet these expectations is the degree your kids grow up whole and healthy with a unique foundation that only a dad can provide. Said more simply, there are God-given roles for you to play as a father. Each role fulfills what your kids inherently need from you as they develop. They naturally see you in these roles, so it's critical that you understand what they are, and more so, that you seek to become these for your child. Because I promise you, your teenager does not see you the way your 8-year-old sees you, and they don't need you in the same way. Your 8-year-old doesn't see you the way your toddler does, and they don't need you as your toddler does. And that's exactly how it should be. The problem is that most dads keep showing up the same way year after year, wondering why it's not working anymore. So today we're walking through all 4 stages of the father-friend model, but from your kids' point of view, because understanding their perspective changes everything about how you show up. I'm going to share with you your role in each stage, and then under each one, some practical non-negotiables when it comes to what you should do. Now, this is an overview, but you can find details of the model with charts included at fatherfriend.net. First up, the strong protector stage. They see you as their leader. These are your little ones, birth through age 6. Here's how they look at you. You are literally the biggest, strongest, most powerful person in their entire universe. You're not like Superman. I mean, to them, you are Superman. You can fix anything, lift anything, scare away anything. When my kids were young at this age, I remember my son Ryan pointing at me and telling his friend, "My dad is stronger than your dad." And this friend says, "No way." And they almost get into a fight about it. That's how they see you. You're their walking security system. At this stage, kids need that sense of safety, protection, that unshakable confidence that dad's got this. Think about it. When your 4-year-old has a nightmare, they don't want a psychological discussion about why bad dreams happen. They don't need you to explain REM sleep cycles. They need you to come into their room, turn on the light, check under the bed, hold them, and tell them with absolute confidence, "You're safe. Daddy's here. Nothing's going to hurt you." And they believe you. Because at this age, amazingly, you have the power to make it true just by saying it. So practically speaking, what do you do for your child in this stage? Number 1, be their safe base. When they fall, when they're scared, when the world gets too big, you're the one they run to. Don't outsource comfort. Don't be too busy to be available when they're hurt or afraid. This is the age where you're literally programming their nervous system to know what safety feels like. Be sure and do it. Number 2, show them strength with gentleness. They need to see you be strong enough to be tender, strong enough to get on the floor and play, strong enough to hold them when they cry, strong enough to direct them and correct them and discipline them from a place of love, not control or intimidation. Some dads think strong means tough and distant, but real strength at this stage is being fully present to someone small and vulnerable. Number 3, keep your promises. At this age, you're building their trust in you if those closest to them can be trusted. So if you say you'll read them a book, do it. If you say you'll take them to the park, take them to the park. If you promise to play after dinner, play after dinner. And if you tell them there'll be a timeout because of misbehavior, follow through on that timeout. Every kept promise builds their foundation. Every broken promise creates a crack in it. Number 4, be bigger than their emotions. When they're melting down over something that seems ridiculous to you, and they will, they need you to stay calm. They need to learn that their big emotions don't overwhelm you, that you're strong enough to hold space for whatever they're feeling. The strong protector isn't about your ego. It's about being reliably, consistently safe and strong for someone who's tiny and vulnerable. You're creating the secure foundation they'll build their whole life on. Now we hit elementary school, ages 7 through 12, and something shifts. This is the confidence builder stage. They see you as their coach. And here's how they perceive you now. You're no longer just strong who can do hard things, but now you're the person who believes they can do hard things. You're their biggest fan and their trusted coach. They're watching you to figure out if they've got what it takes. At this stage, they're trying everything: sports, instruments, friendships, school challenges. And every time they try something new, they're looking at your face to see, does Dad think I can do this? I remember when my daughter Kaylee was learning to ride a bike without training wheels, she kept falling. And every time she fell, she'd look at me before she decided whether to cry or try again. My face told her what to do next. Try again. You've got this. So if I looked worried or disappointed, she'd give up. If I looked confident and encouraging, she'd get back on. And that's exactly what she did. She learned to ride that bike. That's the power you have at this stage. Your belief in them becomes their belief in themselves. Your voice to them, whether confidence or critique, becomes their voice to themselves. Here's what they desperately need from you in this stage. Number 1, catch them doing things right. They're drowning in correction from teachers, coaches, and other kids. You need to be the one who sees their effort, their improvement, their character, not just their performance. Affirmation builds confidence. Criticism without affirmation destroys it. Number 2, let them struggle with you nearby. This is the age where they need to begin to learn that they can handle hard things, but they need to know you're close enough to help out if it gets too overwhelming. Don't rescue too soon, but don't abandon them either. Find that sweet spot where you're present but not hovering, available but not interfering, letting them do it, but being there to coach them along the way. Third thing, show them how to fail forward. They're going to strike out, forget their lines, miss the shot, lose the game, bomb the test. Your job isn't to fix it or to minimize it. It's to show them that failure happens, but it isn't the end of the story. It's information. It's part of learning. Talk about your own failures. Let them see you try things that you're not good at and yet keep trying. And fourth, name what you see in them. I noticed you helped that kid who fell on the playground. You stuck with that math problem even when it was hard. You were kind to your sister even when she was annoying you. So name the character you see in them developing. They're figuring out who they are, and your words are building blocks for their identity. We get so focused on correcting our kids that we forget to celebrate them. We come home from work and immediately start managing behavior instead of connecting with who they're becoming. We often see what is wrong before seeing what is right. So catch yourself now. Kids at this age are incredibly motivated for a dad who truly delights in them. The confidence builder sees potential and calls it out, even when it's incomplete. You're not waiting for them to be perfect. You're not waiting for them to be good enough to earn your attention. You're giving attention that makes them brave enough to try. So the strong protector, the confidence builder. Next, and buckle up, here comes the teenage years. Your teenager sees you completely differently than your elementary kid did. This is the steady anchor stage. They see you, they need you as a mentor. This is ages 13 through 20. And here's their view. You're not Superman anymore. In fact, they figured out you're kind of weird and definitely flawed. But what they need is for you to be the steady one when their whole world feels chaotic. Adolescence is emotional whiplash. They don't even know what they're going through. Hormones, social drama, identity questions, future pressure, it's all hitting at once. They're trying to figure out who they are apart from you, which means they're going to push away from you. But paradoxically, they need you to stay close. So here's how they see you. You're the rock, the anchor, the one who doesn't freak out when they do, the one who stays consistent when everything else feels unstable. Now, you may not believe that that's how they see you, but believe me, that's how they do. And here's what makes this stage so hard. They're testing you constantly, but they desperately need you to pass the test. They need to know that you're still there when they're at their worst, still steady, still committed. Practically, what do you do in this stage? Well, first of all, don't take the bait. They're going to test you. They're going to be moody, push boundaries, say things designed to get a reaction. Your job is to stay calm and steady, not passive, not indifferent, engaged, but not reactive. When they slam the door, they get in trouble, but you don't slam it back. When they're disrespectful, you address it calmly without losing your cool. You're modeling for them emotional regulation. Secondly, show up even when they push away. Keep showing up to their games, their events, their lives, even when they act like they don't care if you're there. Believe me, they care. They're just not going to admit it. I can't tell you how many times my kids barely acknowledge me at an event, then later ask me if I saw something they did. They were watching. They just couldn't show it in the moment. Number 3, be the non-anxious presence. When they're spiraling out of control about a grade, a relationship, anxiety about the future, they don't need you to either fix it or freak out with them. They need you to be calm enough to help them find their own footing. Number 4, stay curious, not judgmental. When they make a choice you don't understand, ask questions before you pronounce judgment. Say to them, help me understand what you were thinking. What made you decide to do it that way? Sometimes they have better reasoning than you think. Sometimes they don't. But asking first earns you the right to speak into it. And then 5th, give them age-appropriate autonomy. They need to start making their own decisions while they're still in your house, and you can help them process the consequences. So let them fail small while the stakes are still relatively low. Because if you control everything now, they'll make all their mistakes when they're older, and you'll have zero influence then. The steady anchor doesn't need to have all the answers. You're the mentor, but you need to be the unshakable commitment to them even when they're at their worst. Here's the truth. They're going to mess up. They're going to make choices you wouldn't make. And your steadiness, your ability to stay connected even in the chaos, that's what keeps them tethered. And then finally, we get to young adulthood, ages 21 and up. This is the faithful friend stage. This is the reward stage, the letting go and support stage. Here's the shift. Your adult child doesn't see you as their authority figure anymore. They need you as an advocate, not an authority. At this stage, they're making their own decisions about career, relationships, faith, money, everything. And they don't need your permission anymore. What they need is your friendship. This is the hardest transition for a lot of dads because we're wired to protect, to guide, to fix. But at this stage, here's how they see you, or how you hope they see you. You're the person who's been through it, who they can trust, who they choose to let into their life because it's no longer required. The question isn't, will they obey me? It's, will they want to call me? Think about it. When your 25-year-old is facing a tough decision, are you the person they want to talk to? Or are you the person they avoid because they already know what you're going to say and they don't want to hear it? So practically, here's how you fulfill this role in this stage. Number one, earn the right to speak into their life. You can't demand it anymore. You earn influence through relationship, not authority. This means you have to actually invest in knowing them, their world, their interests, their struggles. You can't show up once a year and expect deep conversation. Number two, ask more than you tell. Instead of giving advice, ask questions. What are you thinking? How are you feeling about that? What do you need from me? Sometimes they need advice. Sometimes they just need you to listen. Learn to tell the difference. Number three, respect their autonomy, even when you disagree. They're going to make choices you wouldn't make. You can share your concern once, clearly and kindly, but then you have to let them own their life. If you keep pushing after they've heard you, you're going to lose access. Number four, celebrate their independence. When they handle something well on their own, tell them, I'm proud of how you worked through that. You made a really mature decision there. Don't make it about you or take credit for their success. Let them own it. This is the stage I'm in right now with my kids. And boy, do I want my kids to text and call more than they do. This transition has been hard, but I've learned I have to initiate. I have to continue to pursue. So I've tried to be faithful to do that, and it's paid off. My oldest son recently asked us to travel down and babysit for them in a pinch. We did it. My middle son asked me to fix a shower faucet while we were there. I was happy to do so. My daughter, who is 5 hours away, her car broke down. Her husband was at work. She called me to ask for advice on what to do about just getting the car home. It meant the world to me that she called and that I could help. So I've learned if you keep trying to parent your adult kids the way you parented them when they were 16, they'll drift away. If you offer unsolicited advice, if you critique their choices, if you try to solve problems they didn't ask you to solve, they stop calling. They stop sharing the real stuff. The way they see you has changed. If you want to stay in their life, you have to change with it. Mostly it means letting go, and that's hard. In time, as they travel through adult years, you hope to be their faithful friend. You can't control it now. You can't make it happen, but you can support, initiate, stay available, and pursue. Seek to be someone they trust enough to be honest with, someone who's safe enough to call when things fall apart, someone who celebrates their wins. This stage is where you find out if you've built the relationship that can transition from authority to friendship. It's the long game finally paying off. So here's what I want you to hear. Your kids need different things from you at different stages. And the dad who can shift and adapt as they grow, that's the thinking dad. That's the dad who stays connected for the long haul. Strong protector, confidence builder, steady anchor, faithful friend. The role changes with the years, but what doesn't change is this. They need dad. At every stage, in different ways, they need you to show up as the father they need right now where they are. So here's your action step this week. Identify which stage your kid is in right now. Then ask yourself honestly, am I showing up as the father they need at this stage? Or am I stuck in a previous stage, trying to be who I used to be to them, or trying to be what I'm most comfortable giving to them? Because here's the truth. If you don't adapt, you'll lose connection, not because they stop loving you, but because you're not meeting them where they are. So figure out how they see you. Then show up with love, presence as they need you. Hey, before I go, just a reminder, please subscribe to the podcast and please share it with other dads. That helps us build this resource and help as many fathers out there as possible. Boy, the world needs dads who lean in, lead well, and love big. So help us spread the word. Don't forget also to be a part of our Father Friend community and receive the monthly e-newsletter called the Father Friend Focus, delivered right to your inbox each month with insight and exclusive content available only to subscribers. As a bonus just for signing up, you'll receive my free time management guide for busy dads called Regret-Free Parenting. You can sign up for it on the homepage at fatherfriend.net or send me an email at mike.a@fatherfriend.net.